Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing Tea Street. Today's mug it says enjoy, and it has flowers on it because y'all, I'm dreaming about spring, if I'm honest. Woo! I'm not cut out for this weather. Today's topic is one that is for me. Releasing the anchor that is pulling you under. Releasing the anchor that is pulling you under. Anchors are meant to stabilize ships. Y'all have seen them. They look like this, and they even got songs about it. Anchors away. They kind of look like this, and it's got the little things that go out. But when an anchor is dropped in the wrong place or the wrong season, it doesn't steady you, it sinks you. Some of us are drowning not because the waters are rough, but because we're still tied to something that was never meant to go with us into the next season. So let's talk about how to release the anchors that have been dragging us under. Good morning, Ms. Woods. Let's talk about how to release those anchors that have been driving us under. Identify what's or who's actually weighing you down. Not everything is not everything heavy is holy. And that familiar is healthy. Anchors sometimes show up as old relationships, past failures, guilt, shame, fear of change, the need for approval, the old version of yourself that no longer fits who you are today. But here's the truth: you can't heal what you won't name. So you have to ask yourself questions like, what's what keeps replaying in my mind? That's how you know if it's an anchor that's holding you down. What drains my energy? What am I carrying that God already told me to release? You weren't created to swim while dragging yesterday behind you. I was a swimmer. And when you swim and something is holding onto your leg, part of one of my tests when I was trying to get my lifeguard license, part of my test was I had to swim dragging something with me. So I was swimming with one hand, trying to pull somebody as though were pulling them back to safety. And so what I learned is that I didn't swim my best when something was dragging me behind. So if it keeps pulling you backwards, it's probably an anchor and not an assignment. Well, I'm going to give that to somebody else who needed it. If it keeps pulling you backwards, it's probably an anchor and not an assignment. I don't know who needed that, but somebody gonna get it today. The second step: understand that letting go is an act of faith and not failure. Sometimes we hold on to things because we're afraid that if we let it go, it's an admission that we failed. We often think that that makes us strong by holding on to the things that literally are dragging us under. But sometimes strength looks like surrender. Letting go doesn't mean that you didn't care. It means that you care enough about your future to stop bleeding from your past. You care enough about your future to stop bleeding from your past. Ships don't travel forward with anchors down, and neither do people. You can't reach your new depths while you're clinging to old weight. Releasing is not quitting. Letting go isn't losing, it's making room. I don't know who needed that today, but when I thought about it, when a ship gets ready to move, it pulls up the anchor because if it doesn't, it keeps it weighted down and it cannot move forward. The same thing is true in our lives. So the third step, release the anchor with intention. Be intentional about letting that anchor go. Here's the key: don't just release it, replace it. Replace fear with faith. Replace resentment with forgiveness. Replace survival mode. When we're in survival mode, you don't have to be there if you replace it with purpose. Replace, this is how it's always been, or this is where I'm going. You don't just, yo, you got to sometimes just let that go because you don't drift into healing. You decide. You set new anchors, anchors of peace, anchors of truth, Anchors for me of discipline. Oh God, that's the hardest one. And anchors of hope. Hebrew calls an anchor for the soul. That's what they say hope is. In the book of Hebrews, it says that hope is an anchor for the soul. That's the anchor you need, one that holds you steady without holding you back. My friends hold me steady, but they don't hold me back. So drop the weight and raise your expectation. So as I close, I want to say you don't have to drown in what God already delivered you from. This season requires lighter baggage. That was for me. So today, make the decision to cut the rope. Release the anchor, lift up your head and move forward because what's ahead of you needs all of you. Not the version still tied to what tried to take you under. So I came by to tell somebody today, release the anchor that has been pulling you under. How do you do that? Identify what or who's actually weighing you down. Understand that letting go is an act of faith and not an act of failure. And replace the anchor with intention. I'm the amazing T Street, but y'all already know there's absolutely positively nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every one of you. So today, I want to encourage you to release the anchor that has been pulling you under. Have an amazing day.